Hello my friends, Tyler here. This is Game Life. I've always loved playing games, and eventually I started to want to make them. A really useful way to see how to design games is to play them, to have a good feel with them. But there is a difference between playing a game for fun and playing a game to study it. In this video, we're going to see how we can make sure that our design sessions don't turn into play sessions, because those are not the same thing. First of all, we have a problem. Attempting to study a game can turn into playing it. The agitation here is that games can pull in the designer through immersion, engagement, addiction. These are normally good things to have in a game, maybe less so on the addiction side, but immersion and engagement, those are really good to have for the players. They need to be in the game, but the designer needs to be aware of them and avoid them if possible. And the solution we have to avoid those things is keep notes and stepping back. Let's take a look at the solution in depth and how it would alleviate this problem. So this is our game time, and the orange bits represent sort of normal game, just playing it. The green bits and the red bits, those are opportunities where the developer can learn something about the design of the game. Keeping notes, as the name would suggest, is when you get to these points, you stop and you write down notes about what you feel, what tools of the trade it used, what emotions it evoked, so that way you can learn from it and you have pieces of paper. Maybe you could do it in a Word doc, whatever, as long as you have notes. The way this alleviates our issue is because every time you stop and you see one of these things and write it down, you're going to be keeping your designer glasses on and not your player glasses. We don't want player glasses on. We want our designer glasses on when we're studying a game. The next little trick we have is stepping back. Every 15 minutes or so around the clock, we're going to go ahead and step back when we get to these specific spots. We might have an alarm on our phone or a little timer, but it needs to be an actual time interval. When we step back, we're going to take in and digest what we've seen so far. Maybe look at our notes. This is also really important because when we step back away from the game, like at least 10 feet, get away from our computer or system, whatever we're playing it on, that's going to break the immersion. That's just right then and there, breaking the immersion. We're separating ourselves from the game. So if we were really immersed and we weren't taking notes for that whole 15 minutes, this acts as sort of a safety switch to keep you from getting too involved in the game. I've played games where I meant to be studying and it was so good, it swept me off my feet and I was playing it for several hours. However, if you have an actual beeper that keeps going off, maybe it's set on the other side of the room so you actually have to get up and go get it to turn it off, that's going to break that immersion. The reason this helps keep you in a design session is because when you are playing a game, you will see certain things. And if you let too much time go by between when you see them and when you actually record what you were thinking, you might lose it. You'll have to try to re-emulate how you felt, and you might not get it as perfect as you had originally thought of it, especially if you'd progressed in the game a little bit and some of your views changed because of the time and experience you spent with that game. Our conclusion for this is that we can prevent a design study session from turning into a play session by keeping notes on observations and taking a step back occasionally to refocus our intent. I know you probably want to design games for the same reason I do. You love games. They're fun, they're awesome. We love playing them. I don't know if there could be a designer that didn't love games. The two are one and the same, but we need to know to keep them separate when there's a use for keeping them separate. Especially if you're making your own games, which are hopefully as fun as possible for you, you are going to want to play them, especially once they start coming together. You might get sucked into your own vortex of fun and engagement. But these tools could hopefully keep you being able to study, so that way you can make it even better than if you were just to play it all day long. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.